Yo, it's your boy Ty back here with another NBA tier list. This is going to be in the shooting guard position with my man Nate. Say what's up, Nate.
What's up, y'all?
So, look, guys, point guard position was super stacked. I think it goes without saying the shooting guard position is quite a bit worse. I mean, I see a lot of mid players on this list, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think there's a lot of mediocre players in the shooting guard list.
Yeah, I think you're like the point guard list. If you guys watched that, it was kind of unbalanced in a way. I mean, it was just like really top heavy on the tier list. I think this one might be a little more evenly distributed.
So again, we're gonna try to have about 5 players per position. With the point guard it was a little tougher. This I think should be a little more set in stone. Now, before we dive any further into it, man, make sure to smash that subscribe button if you're new. We're starting here with Devin Booker, and I'm not gonna lie, looking at this list, he's got to be S tier.
Easy S. Especially we have CP3 in S. You have to have. TyDeBo
you have to, yeah. People argue who the best players.
I've made the argument. I've argued the last 2 years it's CP3, but it might not be anymore. Especially he's aging. So.
Brandon Ingram. It's interesting because for Brandon Ingram, a lot of people talk about how Brandon Ingram is severely underrated. What is your thoughts on that? You think he's underrated, about right, or overrated? What do you think?
I think he's pretty properly rated right now. I think he had a really, really good playoff, so I think people kind of bought stock in him, and that kind of he's a little bit more hyped up than he was. I think A is great for him right now. I think it's perfect. I think
that's smooth. All I can say is there's been times he can take over games. I mean, he can absolutely take over games. There's a game versus the Timberwolves last year. I mean, dude, like literally scored, I don't even know, 15 to 20 points in one quarter. Was literally unguardable. Unguardable. Like you could not guard him. Jaylen Brown. I think top of A, lower S. What do you think?
I think A for now.
You think he's more on the level of Brandon Ingram than Devin Booker?
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think that's fine. I think that's fine, though.
I do find it interesting. There's been times where people have said, him and Jason Tatum can't work. I think that's interesting. One thing I will say about JB, and we talked about it, when he puts the ball on the floor and gets into the paint,
anytime he tries to dribble, it's bad.
It's just tough. He is a good defender, really good shooter.
But what I'm saying is, if he was just like not dribble and just shoot over heads, he would be so efficient. Like he makes so many tough shots. It doesn't even matter whether there's a hand in his face or not.
And the thing is, he's young and he's just gonna continue to grow. I think I can't argue S. It's gonna be interesting with this list, though.
We might have to adjust that top of it.
My question is, who's better? Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell.
Jaylen Brown.
You think easy?
Yeah, Mitchell is just, he's not a two-way player. He might be a little bit better offensively, but there's games where he's going 7 for 29.
That's fair. Do you remember, what was it, in the bubble when him and Jamal Murray were just going
he played really, really good in the bubble.
Oh my gosh,
he's crazy. Actually not been great in the playoffs outside of the
that's
bubble.
True. But yeah, that was fun, man. When him and Jamal were going at it, and yeah, that was a fun series, man. That was one of the best series I think I've ever seen. That was a lot of fun. But I do think A is right. I think going into next year, I'd rather have JB. I feel like he fits more teams as well. Like if you put Jaylen Brown in, let's say,
exactly
to the Timberwolves or the Clippers, or just any team, he's gonna probably
the thing with the Celtics is if you swap in Donovan for Jaylen, Donovan's getting targeted every single possession on that team, and that team might not make the finals.
It's true. Herder, he's not good.
He's okay. I put him. Let's see what we got here.
I mean, look at how terrible the end of this list is.
I'd throw him in D for now because he's still like he's a really solid, just not only shooter. He can put the ball on the deck too. He's got good positional size. He's just gonna play his role. So I'd put him in D.
That's fair.
He was solid in Atlanta.
That's fair. I didn't mind Kevin Herter. I don't know. He just never really shined in a way. I don't know. Gary Trent Jr. I don't mind him.
No, he's solid. He's better than Herter.
I was gonna say C. I don't know though. I feel like he is better than Herter. He's
fine for now.
Do you remember
he could honestly be.
Do you remember the time last year he had like so many like 25, 30 point games in a row? He was absolutely,
especially because Toronto had a bunch of guys hurt like all the time.
He was hooping, man. He's a bucket getter, man. Talk about that. Max Strus is not good.
The Strus is on the loose.
He's not good.
He might be D though.
Or F. I don't know. He's not.
No, I'd put him D. That's
fine. He's not good though.
He's still solid.
I mean,
he was a starter on the number 1 team in the East, and he's actually a decent defender, especially in the post.
It's just to me, it's like
he showed me a lot in the playoffs.
To me, it's like Max Strus. I just have a hard time seeing him. Even I guess compared to Kevin Huerter, probably about the same. But I just think for what he was supposed to be, he's good. But as far as the starting shooting guard in the league, he's not good.
No, but that's why I throw him in D.
Ant-Man is interesting. And the reason I say he's interesting is because it's one of those things. Again, last year we've talked about D'Lo was that maybe second most consistent player for the Timberwolves. Yes, Ant's going to have those 40-point games. He's going to have to make a step above to make A tier. I'm saying that.
So it's just whether, do you want to project him to take that step or not?
For us, we projected Cade to take that next step.
That's true.
And
where do we put Cade?
We put Cade B, but I think we put LaMelo A. I think.
Yeah.
And if LaMelo's A, Ant's definitely got to be A.
Yeah, that's
no
true.
question. Like
that's true.
Who are y'all taking going into next season? Ant or Mitchell? I don't know.
Ant outplayed Mitchell in the last playoffs too. Offensively, and he's a better defender.
Way better defender.
I think A's fine. Bottom of A is fine.
And I like it. I mean, there's no question at the end of this year he could be a no-brainer S. But he could also be, B tier. I mean, you just don't know.
Vassell, he's actually solid, but I'd put him D.
He's solid for a horrible team. I mean,
yeah, he could have a break. He's gonna have the ball a lot probably this.
He's gonna have the chance, no doubt. I don't love him. Tyrese Maxey is solid. B.
Yeah, I think Maxey's good for a first B guy.
I just feel like even in the playoffs, I mean, people were like he, really hooped and was even better than Harden. Now, is he better than James Harden? No, but Maxey is solid. No question. I mean, he can hoop.
Yeah, and he's just like he's still growing. This is going to be his third year in the league too. So, yeah, I think like right in between Trent and Ant, that's a perfect spot for him.
Desmond Bane is a hooper.
Yep. Easy B though.
Easy B.
Easy B.
He showed me something in the playoffs. You want to talk about a guy that is a absolute marksman from 3? Holy cow! It's Desmond Bane.
Right.
He an absolute sniper, man. Anytime against the Timberwolves, like there'd be guys that get open. It's like I don't care. Like even Jaren Jackson Jr. He's a good shooter, but when he got open, it's like okay, you don't know. Anytime Desmond Bane put that thing up, I was like, oh no, because it is knocked down, and obviously that might be recency bias, whatever else, but he knocked down. That's all I can say.
Grizzlies got a steal in that draft with him. I think like 30 or 31 or something like that.
I mean, he was a late pick. Jalen Suggs.
I'd put him F, but I'd put him F, but I think he's actually a solid prospect, and he had a really horrible first season, like a lot of rookies do, but he still has a really good package. He has good positional height, and he's a really good defender. And I think the offense will come. And
he could definitely take a step up next year too. I'll let you lead the way with this next guy too, Nate.
Benedict Mathurin, I'd put him in F probably. I mean, it's hard to project any young rookie, but I mean, I would just project that's where he would be. I mean, he could end up being like a really good rookie and end up being in C, but I think you just gotta probably put him in F.
For me, I don't know enough about it. I don't even know if I've ever seen this dude anything, so I can't rate a dude that I don't know about. So that's why I kind of handed it over to you, Pat Bev.
I think Pat Bev's pretty easy.
See?
Yeah. As long as he can stay healthy, that's the thing with Pat Bev.
It's gonna be interesting in Los Angeles. It's gonna be really interesting because with the Timberwolves, we needed a guy like that. And not to say the Lakers don't. The Lakers need something with their culture. So they need something because what they had last year obviously didn't work. But the him and Russ thing's gonna be interesting. Him in LA with Bron, it's gonna be interesting. It's a change of pace. Obviously, he was in LA with the Clippers, but Lakers is gonna be a definite change of pace because I don't know. He might just have that different role.
I think he's in a perfect situation. I said it when the Lakers were going to trade. It's literally the perfect player. He went to the perfect situation for him, and the Lakers got the perfect player for that situation. I still think Russ is going to be out the door before the season starts, but we'll see. If not, they can coexist because Pat Bev coexisted with D'Angelo Russell. And I think the only reason it won't coexist is just because Russ is horrible. And at that point, You just play Austin Reeves and you play Pat Bev with LeBron running the show as the one.
That's
basically.
fair. That's fair. Yeah, Pat Bev. Hey, yeah, again, he can play the 2, play the 1. I'm gonna miss him in Minnesota to say the least. PGS.
Easy S, because he's better than Jaylen Brown. He's actually the best player on the list right now.
It's gonna be real interesting with Kawhi back to see what the Clippers do. It's gonna be real interesting because they honestly. They got no more excuses. They're in a good situation. They should go out there and hoop, man.
The only thing that's going to be for them is the injuries. That's the only thing that'll slow them down. But if you tell me everyone stays healthy, I think they got the best chance to win the finals. But I don't know if I'd pick them to win the finals just because I don't trust them staying healthy.
That's fair. That's fair. Injuries always play a part in the playoffs. No doubt about that. Clay, this one's interesting to me. This one is really interesting to me. Because even if you look at what Clay did, like, I don't know. Is putting him in B slandering him?
I'd put him in A still. I think he's still kind of working his way back, so I'm just going to put him in A. I think if you take everyone in A and ask who the Warriors would want out of all those players for their team, they're taking Klay Thompson still.
One thing I find interesting is, do you remember when there was a debate last year on whether who is better, Jordan Poole or Klay Thompson?
Yeah.
You might not even know, but in my stream, everybody was saying JP was better than Klay.
But JP also couldn't stay on the floor in the finals because of his defense.
I like
and
Klay.
Klay's not the defender he was, but he's still solid, and he still is. He has so much gravity on the court, and I think I'd still take him over Bane going into next season.
I agree. That's fair. Bradley Beal, staying in Washington. A?
Yeah.
Or you want to go S?
No, S. I would rather put Brandon Ingram in S. And I'd rather maybe put Donovan Mitchell in S.
That's fair, but Bradley Beal is a certified bucket getter. On the offensive end, the problem is defense with him.
Right. No,
I mean, I think offensively, he's the best player at A tier. Better than Brandon Ingram. I like Bradley Beal offensively is so elite. He's small, can't guard anyone, and it'd be interesting. I'll say this: it would be really interesting to see Bradley Beal in a winning situation.
Yeah, I don't know. Him as a 1, I don't think is going to work to win a championship ever. Him as a 2, I think, can kind of be wonky because if you look at all these guys at S, a lot of them are number 2s or have been. But the thing with them is they're good defenders, where Bradley Beal isn't. But Bradley Beal is just as good of an offensive player as all those guys in S, probably.
But one thing I will say is watching Bradley Beal, you guys might disagree. This dude, I don't know if he's exhausted. He just seems like he don't care when he plays. He be jogging up and down the court. I don't know if y'all have seen this. It just seems, I'm not going to say he don't care. Maybe he's like exhausted, but I don't know. He watching him play is interesting because he just be like jogging up and down the court defensively. I don't know. Have you seen that at all or no?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just like his workload on offense. The past couple of years when he has been in Washington, he had to do like everything for that team offensively.
And that's for me. That's for me. Part of it too is like if his workload got less, could he upgrade his defense? I don't know. Maybe. He's pretty wide as far as the shooting guard. I don't know. We'll have to see. KCP, see? Or you? It's either C or B.
No, he's not B.
He definitely is C. You're not putting KCP lower. No way.
I thought you didn't like KCP.
I don't think KCP is a great shooting guard. I think he's a C tier shooting guard.
Oh, well, you made it sound like when the Nuggets traded for him that didn't mean anything.
It means something, but they also gave up something.
Yeah, but if the Nuggets had gotten Patrick Beverly or Gary Trent, I feel like you would have been way more excited.
Maybe, but if they would have got Kevin Huerter, Max Strus, or Devin Vassell, I would have been like, what? Like, yeah. KCP is a fine 3-and-D guy. Do I think it's going to make the Nuggets a ton better? No, I don't. I don't at all.
I think he's a great fit.
I think he's a fine fit, but it's just like...
No, I don't think he's fine. I think he's great fit there.
A great fit, maybe, but it's not like he's going to make the team a ton better.
We'll see. They didn't have a perimeter defender.
But it's like, what did the Nuggets give up? Monte and who else?
Will Barton.
Like, you can say whatever you want about those two players. Those two players meant a lot to what Denver did.
Yes, but they also don't fit as well as KCP.
Like,
seamlessly.
And I guess part of Monte's was Jamal being injured and stuff like that. I guess KCP is a better fit, but
being able to put KCP on the best guards in the league instead of Aaron Gordon is going to be a big help.
That's true. I don't disagree. Zach LaVine, A? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Somebody posted the other day that Zach LaVine is a no.
Move Jaylen Brown down.
Somebody said the other day that Zach LaVine is a no-brainer better player than Chris Middleton. I was sitting there looking at that stunned. Like, you can make the argument that Zach LaVine is better than Chris Middleton. I don't care. But to say it's no-brainer is ridiculous to me. That's ridiculous. And I don't know why I'm comparing them because they're different players, different positions. But I saw that and I about lost my mind.
Never mind. Move Jaylen Brown back up. Yeah, keep him there.
Why'd you want to move him down?
I don't know.
He's easily better than Zach LaVine. Like, huh?
Yeah, but I'm looking at the other guys.
The other guys is fine. Zach LaVine isn't even a top half player.
No, this is fine. This is fine right now.
Zach LaVine, I defensively is horrible. Spencer, Dan, what do you see?
Yeah, easy C. I think we can move on. He's a lot different than any of those guys in a way. He's still like a solid. He's a decent defender. He's got really good potential and height.
I'm gonna say this about Dallas. If Dallas is a top 4 team in the Western Conference standings, we got to talk about Luka Doncic being the best player in the league. Because that roster is not good.
No, it's horrible.
So I'm just throwing that out there right now. If the Dallas Mavericks are a top half team in the Western Conference, we're gonna talk about Luka being literally the best player in the league because the roster.
The problem is I don't see how he can surpass Giannis. I just don't see how he can.
I'm just
next year. Giannis is so good defensively.
I know, but I'm just saying that team has no talent. It just reminds. I'm not comparing the two. It just reminds me of when LeBron was carrying Cleveland with their awful team. That's just what it reminds me of. With no hardly with Brunson last year, obviously that's different. Now we don't even have Brunson. He got Christian Midwood, who don't even get me started about that. If the Mavs are good this year, it's gonna come down to Luka. Seth Curry, I like Seth Curry. I think he's C tier though.
I put him D. Top of D.
He is an absolute marksman.
Yeah, but he's not good defensively.
I just think comparing him to Max Strus is disrespectful. You disagree?
No, but I don't think you can compare him to Gary Trent either.
He attempts 6 or 7 threes a game, at least he did in Brooklyn, and shot 47%. Do you realize how much pressure that puts on the defense?
Yeah, he was getting a lot of open looks in Brooklyn. I mean, if you're looking at last year.
That's him in Brooklyn. Him in Philly was 40%. Total was 42% from 3.
Yeah, I still think I'd put him D.
I personally just feel like everywhere he's went, he's just been super important. He's averaged nearly.
He is really important.
15 points a game. Outside of that, he doesn't give you much. I agree, but man, as far as shooting the ball, it's tough to get better. DeJounte Murray, A.
Easy A.
I think that's where he belongs. I don't like, his attitude this offseason has been something crazy to me, but, maybe he has a change of mindset after the trade. I don't know. He's been going crazy. His whole thing with Boncaro has been nuts to me. Any thoughts on that?
Didn't you see that they dapped up?
I saw him help him up or whatever.
Pro-Am?
But it's just like
everyone was cheering like crazy.
It's just unnecessary, like to I don't know to do all that. But that's just my opinion on it. Looking at these last 8 guys. Ew is all I can say.
Well, it's a good thing we have like some room in the lower tier.
This is absolutely disgusting. I don't know if this is disgusting. Karis LeVert starting it off. I don't know enough about really Karis. I don't know. Where do you even have Karis?
I put Karis in C. He's like a semi-efficient, kind of inefficient scorer.
He's a scorer, but not necessarily that efficient.
But he's still.
He's a bucket getter. I'll say that.
That's what I'm saying. Like he can average, he can give you 25, 30,
and it's like.
But at the end of the day, he's just C because he doesn't give you anything else besides for his scoring.
He can do it from all levels though. And
right.
That's kind of different from like a Seth Curry type of thing. Is he can do it from.
Actually,
all levels.
I like watching Karis LeVert a lot, but I think he's C.
Scary Terry. See?
C.
Hey, say what you want about Scary Terry. I like him. I like him, man.
He's really fun to watch too.
He is.
They're actually kind of similar in a way, as they're both really good scorers.
Mm-hmm. I just don't think they give you. Compared to let's say like a Desmond Bain,
right? They're a step below.
Even a Tyrese Maxey. Fournier is interesting to me. See again?
No, not even
worse?
Close. Yes, I'd rather have Seth Curry, for sure, 100%.
I think Evan Fournier gives you a better 3-level score to me. Maybe not as good from 3.
I would rather have Curry because I don't want a 3-level score. I want a guy that's going to stand there.
That's cool, but I'm just saying, Evan. I don't think Evan Fournier is that bad.
No one in D is that bad.
I think Evan Fournier is the best player. He's with Seth Curry at the top of D.
I'd rather have Herter.
I just don't agree.
I'd rather. He'd actually be my least favorite player in D. 100%.
Over Devin Vassell?
Yeah. 100%.
Look, I'm not gonna argue it. I'm just saying I disagree, and I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna just keep it moving because I don't mind Evan Fournier. I mean, he's decently efficient. I mean,
he's fine. Okay. He's fine.
This dude's F tier until he shows us something. Agree? JayCanada? You think he's better than F going into next year?
Maybe. It's hard. We didn't see him in Summer League, really.
It's just hard for me. Like,
I think he's going to be better than Benedict Mathurin.
Yeah, but Benedict Mathurin's at F tier too. Do you think he's going to be better than Jalen Suggs?
That's fine. Just leave him there. It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't really want to rank rookies anyway. So it's fine.
What are your thoughts on this, dude?
C.
That's fine with me. I was gonna say C or D.
Horrible defensively.
I'm gonna say C or D. He's a bucket getter, no doubt about that. He's fun to watch too. A lot of these guys at C, I think, are fun to watch.
Yeah, he's definitely the best offensive player at C tier.
Right now, 100%. Especially like
getting his own. Unless last year was just a complete fluke, which I don't think
he can get his own. But yeah, defensively,
he's an extremely good offensive pick and roll player.
Are you a fan of Josh Giddey or no? A lot of people are a big fan of Josh Giddey.
I like him, but
he's D or F?
No, he's not F.
D? I don't think you can go any higher than D.
I think D's fine. He can't shoot.
That's the problem.
He might average a triple-double and still not be that effective. He's like Thomas Sadaransky.
Sadaransky is crazy.
Bro, but he can't shoot.
Thomas Sadaransky is nuts.
He can't shoot, and he's not the primary ball handler for them.
I know, but it's just hard for me to picture a world in which Josh Giddey is...
And he's not a very good defender right now.
He's a horrible defender.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a horrible defender that can't shoot, but he's an incredible playmaker. So I think D tier is fine. I would not ever want him on my team. Can we all take an appreciation for what Jalen Green did at the end of last year? And I don't like Jalen Green. This dude at the end of last season went absolutely crazy. I mean, look at this. 41, 30, 31, 33. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. It's efficient, too. 9 of 17, 10 of 24, 11 of 25, 9 of 24, 12 of 18, 20, or 12 out of 23, 14 out of 26. Look at this. I mean, this dude was incredible at the end of next season. All right, Nate, go ahead with Jalen Green.
I think D's still fine for him right now. Maybe at the top of D. It's so hard to know because he's still horrible defensively.
When I watched Jalen Green early on last season, I thought the dude was an absolute bust. I'm honest with you. The dude was horrible.
I know. That's because you always project players way too early. Lots of great scores are inefficient.
But it was the way he played. I mean, it just seemed like I don't know. It wasn't what I wanted out of. But I mean, there's no denying the numbers at the end of the year. He was basically a 30-point guarantee every time he touched the court. I'm fine with D, but don't be surprised if he ends up at D.
Drag him to the top of D because he could easily move to B by the end of the season, or easily C. It's just what it's going to come down to is his efficiency this season. If he has, because
he's going to get opportunities.
He was efficient at the end of last season, so if he carries that efficiency.
Last dude, Grayson Allen. I'll let you take it. He's disgusted.
I think he's an F, probably. I don't think he's quite
disgusted
to the level of a Strus in terms of his role. But he's still
he can shoot it, man.
Still a solid role piece.
He can shoot it. Grayson Allen is a fine, I feel like, bench piece. As far as a starter, I just don't know about.
No, this is actually really balanced.
It is.
I actually like it.
Completely balanced. I mean, I just feel like, the shooting guard position compared to the point guard isn't nearly as talented. Do you agree?
Right. I think so too. That's why it's more balanced. The other thing I say is a lot of people might not like it because some of these guys can score, but scoring can only get you so much. Like Malik, when in Minnesota, he averaged over 20 points the season where D'Angelo and Cat were hurt, and now he's just like a bench piece. So I don't value scoring a ton. Well, if you versatile can defend, that's what I like.
Especially in the playoffs, I feel like you see it more, and that's what's most important. Where a guy, let's say I'm just gonna throw this name out there, a guy like Jordan Poole, right? in the regular season, right, he was incredible. People were talking about him and better than play. And in the playoffs, he could hardly stay on the court. 15 minutes a game.
He played really good in the first 2 rounds or just he had like his best stretch ever against Denver. He was averaging
maybe versus Denver, but even in like the Western Conference semi, the dude did not ever like touch over 25 minutes.
Yeah, his minutes gradually did, especially once they got into the finals.
And so for me, that's the whole thing. Can you stay on the court no matter the situation? And I think that is important. But overall, I think this list is good, but I said that about the point guard list as well. So just gotta hope we don't get slandered too much.
I'm sure most people won't think it's good, but it's fine, whatever.
It is what it is. That's gonna wrap it up. Nate, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
Hopefully you guys have a blessed day, man. Love each and every one of y'all, man. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, man. Love y'all, man. See y'all later.